Right, well, you got me streaming the final stint for this one, and why are we missing some cars? Why are they disappeared? Ridwan's car's invisible, John's car's invisible, Spud's car's invisible. This is great. Hopefully this fixes itself, because this is very weird. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, right. This is weird. Cars are legitimately invisible. Ridwan, John, and Spud. It didn't go how I was planning it either. Yeah, so was Ridwan. Look, see? Ratty just hit Ridwan and nothing happened. Okay. Well. Okay, we'll burn that room, put that room in the bin. And then we'll go to a new room, because GT7 is just doing GT7 things. Make sure that's alright. Sorry about that, everyone. But yes, you do have myself and Jarman. Dallas, it's racing. I figured you'd give him a bit of a break. We do have meat and cheese in the safety car. So I was doing a bit of safety car v commentating in the last one. So we'll have me just hanging around on the spectator, giving Jarman some bit of company, because I know you've been probably a bit lonely in the combox this today. Yeah, it's been a very long day, so I think people are starting to get a bit antsy. But yeah, it's been obviously a long day for yourself. It would be ideal if you had two people all the time, but it's a good old GT7 enduro things. Oh, John's still invisible. I think we're just gonna have to run with an invisible John. And I think an invisible Lurox, and oh, we've got 4 cars that are invisible. Nice, that'll be. Is it my network? No. I don't know how we fix this. This is really odd. Hey Highlander, I see you in the stream, mate. Why are you not racing? You should be in the 13. Nope, we got an invisible Audi. We got an invisible Nightwalker. Alright, give us a sec while we sort this out. well, we are back, and we've got Highlander in the number 13, so we'll finally get this race underway very shortly. Well, we've had 3 lobby resets, I've had a game reset, and we've got Highlander in the car for what would be Devlin, because he's currently done 3 stints, and no, I'm not too sure what's happened on that side of the woods, but unfortunately we won't allow Devlin to run a 4th, so that's a lot of laps around here, and Loudy just proceeds to zoom in and get engine damage, so as soon as he's ready to go, we'll get this race underway. For the last of 5 stints around this very long track, and it's now approaching 4:41 local time here, but obviously, yeah, I'll swap you. Not all of us can leave behind in the past. He's in. We do apologise for the delivery. It was kind of just a rush job. Alright, finally we're underway, and I do think he's got a small wing, so I think just for the purpose of this we just keep letting him race and letting him rotate and see how he goes. We've got Meat and Cheese Pie in the Trackstar safety car. He will be leading the field around for 1 lap, to then for the rest of the field to then proceed on the rest of the race for this final stint. We have approached over the 100 lap mark in this very long race, which is honestly, I think for yourself you're probably thankful that we've cracked over 100 laps for this one. Yeah, I know that some of us will want to do a couple more post-race celebrations than others, and obviously see how we end up. But yeah, I know myself, I can't wait to get this day over with. It's been very long here, and we'll definitely be waiting to see what happens at the end of this. But obviously, leading the pack, we've got Diswood, who finished first in the last stint. He's definitely got that some incredible pace coming out of that car, that number 1. So that'll be on the charge from Matt behind him. Obviously we've seen Woodsy, Matt and Captain Muffin do their own fastest laps on all of the same lap, so they all must have found some sort of pace or something or other like that. So yeah, it's definitely something must have happened with the track, whether it evolved or what happened with that. Yeah, Matt, Woods and Muffin all cracked a 52 in that on the same lap. So Woodsy did his fastest lap, Matt did his fastest, and Muffin did his fastest as well. So they're all essentially matching each other for pace, and they didn't really kind of spread out much. So. pretty unfortunate there for those two cars, but we'll see what because Nightwalker did a very solid performance there in stint number 4. So it's going to be an interesting one to see what happens here. But there is controversy at the moment of people saying that I should be in the 95 and this and that and blah 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 blah. But frankly, Matt feels more comfortable doing the long stint at the end, and he wants to do it. So he's the faster one, and I'll let him to take it to Woodsy. But in the controversy of me, we've got Muffin as well into 50. So, but we do races with co-drivers, and this is how it all ends up. But how about we all sit back, relax, and not worry about that, and we just worry about the racing that goes on and let each other do the racing. So fingers crossed we get some nice racing at the end of this, and not too many safety cars. So I think we've had four, maybe 5 safety cars. We've got meat and cheese in the safety car at the moment, so we should start to pull away now, which then leaves. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so we'll ready to go for 37 laps here. I wonder if this will gonna be another sprint to the end. But I'll definitely be wanting to see what happens here between Woodsy and Matt. So safety cars in the pits now, and we got control. Woodsy's got control of the field now for the next 37 laps at the moment. So we'll wait and see what happens here. He started to put a little bit of a gap here on Matt, so that'll be very interesting to see what happens here. But Speedy gets a good run. Ooh, he slightly scratched the wall there, so John's come up into the mix. No, he either ran wide or got a bit of a tap from Muffin. I'm not really sure. I didn't catch it. I just hit him a bit sideways. So I think it may be a bit of a him possibly running wide there. I'm not really sure, but yeah, he's dropped back into third behind Muffin. So this may play out into Woodsy's hands. I'm pretty sure that if I was Woodsy, I'd want to be having another car in between me and Matt at the moment. So we'll wait and see what happens at the end of this. But yeah, that was very sketchy there for Matt, and I'm sure he's pretty thankful that he didn't get any damage. He missed the apex, but by the looks of it, the wind direction's changed. So we've got engine damage here. So we've got engine damage from Lyrox. So I don't know if the safety car is coming out or what the go is there, but that should be a safety car. It's actually, I'm very curious on how Lyrox can manage to get so many engine damages on this damage model, because it's very interesting. may work out. Another engine. We did hear that they got a fresh shipment of engines apparently prior to this. So at the moment, I do believe they've used 3 or 4. So that's a big one for them. But yeah, so unfortunate there for Lirox because he's just podding around at the moment. But this may play out into the hands of some of these drivers. In strategy wise, I don't know how they'd kind of play out, but John seems to brim the tank a little bit here, so he'll try to be running for a different alternate strategy, so we'll definitely wait and see what happens here. But yeah, Woodsy's got out to a blistering start at the moment with Muffin and Matt. I'm pretty sure that's what Matt would have wanted. Granted, he's a bit of a mistake there, and as everyone says, he's not an alien, he is human and he has made a mistake, so it does happen to the best of us, and it just so happens that it happened to Matt as well. But we've got Ratty here. He's made pretty big gains off that start there. He's jumped up into 4th place. So this is all of these positions are 4th position except for obviously Nightwalker in P9 at the moment. He's just trying to gauge back through the field and get a lap back, and obviously Highlander too, who looks to have missed the corner and nearly speared it into the wall. So. Playing a bit of mind games here with Meat and Cheese, just hanging on, just rolling around. He was doing it to me. He was actually pushing me in the last stint, so it's very interesting to see on what he does and how he does and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not. I think maybe the time of day as well might have something to do with how the cars are handling. I'm not overly sure either. Just dropping back, good work there. Now catch up by the start. So the safety car has just started to pull away now. Hopefully he keeps it out of the walls. We did see John make a cake of himself in Stint 4. Yeah, as did all the cars behind him, and he's gone from being naughty to incompetent. So his nickname's gone from naughty to Mr. Incompetent who can't drive a safety car. But in the meantime, we've got Woodsy here in the number 1 CP Motorsports car, leading the field around at 140 k's. It is in the hands of him to when they can go. But he's got a hard charging Muffin, Matt, Ratty, Ridwan, and even Loudy as well. That are trying to punch through the field. Spud hasn't really had the best of runs at the moment, obviously himself and Budsy. Ratty nearly gets in the back of Matt there. John. Luckily didn't get engine damage there, so that's not another safety car, which is kind of thankful for him. But yeah, Laudy actually dropped into the pits on that that last restart because I think he got a bit of front damage, so he must have run up the back of someone or hit the wall somewhere. I'm not overly sure, but yeah, Highlander actually hasn't pit to fix that damage. He's got left rear suspension, but yeah, Captain Muffin here giving Woodsy a bit of a push. So maybe that's in a bit of play there to say, all right, I'll give you a push. Won't fight you for position. I'll just push you to the front and try and break away from the field. But you know, that push may come into play here, but the wind direction's actually changed as well again. So you've got a headwind going down the back straight. Oh, Woodsy. Yeah, he's doing a solid job here. So yeah, he must have found some pace in that Lexus that some of the other Lexus drivers haven't found. I did hear from Ratty that he said he was struggling a little bit in finding some pace there in that car, but yeah, it's definitely starting to show now. Possibly maybe the fatigue of the drivers at the moment. Yeah, Matt's dropped back a little bit from Muffin, so maybe that might be getting start to get to Matt, as well as Woodsy. You know, obviously Woodsy is on controller, but Matt's on the wheel, so I don't know how much kind of difference it would be in, you know, the fatigue side of things or how hard. But I know that Woodsy's previously done, I think it was about 9 hours or 10 hours of a Le Mans straight, so it was a very big stint for him. So he's got the experience there to do a pretty decent amount of time behind the wheel. John on the back of Spud and Ridwan, who's hunting, but Spud looks like he's got a bit of a run here on Ridwan, so he's just gone past. I think that that headwind coming down the straight definitely makes it harder for the lead car to kind of defend that position going into the hairpin, because you'd have such a speed disparity between the cars. speedy's dropped in the back here too, so that's a big mover in the mix of this lot of stuff. It's 2.7, so but Muffin looks to have a bit of a run here on Matt, so we'll wait and see if he can take the inside or if Matt defends. So that's pretty crucial there for Matt. He obviously knows that he doesn't want to go down to Muffin, so he pulls that inside line. He does really well there. That's a solid. Yeah, I mean, you know, anything's possible. We've got Nightwalker in the pits here with some damage, and Lurox has got damage. Highlander has got a 3-second penalty. My assumption is that he's crossed the pit line, but that's a bit unfortunate. But what looks to be, I think Woodsy lost 6 tenths or 7 tenths to Matt, because it was up around 2.8, 2.9, and then now he was back down to 2.1 coming across the line. So he must have lost a bit of time, but you know, it comes into play as well with the whole pitch strategy and everything like that. As Matt gets a bit squirrely there, as his tyres start to wear and come into tuition now, obviously being the MR car. The rear may get a bit twitchy under throttle acceleration, but you know, he started to gap Muffin here, which I'm pretty sure is what he potentially wants. So I think Muffin might be just settling into a bit of a rhythm here, thinking I can't keep pushing at this rate against Matt and keep my pace. So I'll just let Matt do a bit of a charge. But yeah, they're doing pretty well at the moment, and Raddy's doing a solid job here in fourth too. Yeah, I'm sure that he would be happy with a fourth. You know, he'd obviously want to get the win or get on the podium, but you know, I guess the next best thing would be fourth. But he's putting in a solid performance there with his driver in spun. Sorry, being in sixth. So I think this year as well, you know, Spud's kind of been the less of a driver, well not essentially less of a driver, he hasn't really stood out as much as what Ratty has, so I think Ratty's found some sort of pace this year that he didn't have in previous years. Yeah, he's sitting about 8 seconds behind his teammate in Ratty, but even so, 4th and 6th, that's pretty solid at the moment for the teams as well. CP's in front of them, but other than that, they're the kind, second at the moment with the teams. Possibly with teams points to come away from this at the moment, as John's down here in 11th. So, ideally it's not what we like to see. John probably doesn't like to see himself down there, but it looks like he possibly had a bit of a mistake and he's had to do another journey in the pit lane. So Lurox has got more damage here, so Lurox is definitely not having a good run at all. Same as Highlander, so not too sure what's going on with Lurox having a bit of an escapade. He's running with the damage, so you figured, I'm just going to keep going around and we'll keep an eye on that at the end. But this is definitely the battle that we will be wanting to see, because Woodsy set a 54.6 and then Matt set a 54.8 in response, so it's definitely going to be interesting come towards the end, because we saw Woodsy really pull away from Matt in that last stint, but I'm not too sure if the wind had anything to do with that, whether or not, but yeah, so we'll definitely wait and see. He's really closed that back down now to 1.1, but he just lost 4 tenths there because he ran a little bit wide. Speedy looks to make a bit of a move here on Maddie, so he's right behind his teammate. I wonder if Speedy, Ridwan runs really wide there. And again, so maybe Ridwan's having a bit of a struggle, but they're probably on the charge here to hunt down Slayer and Spud. So keep an eye on that. And as I say that, Matt goes faster with a 54.1. So Woods did a 54.6 and Matt did a 54.1. So Matt's definitely giving it his all and trying his little heart out and doing Matt things. And I'm sure yourself and myself, we can't really thank Matt enough for coming out of his real life commitments with uni and stuff like that to join us on the field. But ideally, I think yourself, why not? Maybe we'll see the likes of someone like a PX7 Twitchy or Distinct Andrew or something like that maybe in the coming years. So. Yeah, John's picked up a bit of damage. Yeah, that's definitely, you know, something that really pays off in the long run. Having driver lineup sorted out, getting the chemistry between the two drivers, you know, like, oh, honestly, this pairing between Woodsy and Lunacy, obviously it was a late signing because Brocky jumped out of the one, but yeah, it was a late signing there, but Lunacy's definitely stepped up to the plate in being Woodsy's co-driver. He's doing an outstanding job, and you know, I'd be definitely very worried and see um, if he gets on the grid for next year, but Woodsy's just, you know, he's responding to Matt's time at the moment, and he's just punched out 2 tenths faster, and he looks to be on it for a 53 here. So they're very close. It's bouncing between 1.1 and 1.6, so Matt will get some time back and then Woodsy will take it back. It's kind of, they're going a little bit tit for tat here. They're within a couple of tenths of each other. So yeah, they're definitely giving it to each other, that's for sure, after this very long. Damage there for him, damage also for John, damage also for Lyrox. So damage all around for these guys. So they're not having the best time at the moment. Maybe as I said, the fatigues might be setting in for these guys. Yeah, that's about roughly just on an hour, maybe if not more. So it's definitely going to play out here. But yeah, it's been a long day. I think it's been a long week for all of us, really. Like, you know, the amount of testing that me and Matt have done together, and helping out John as well, and Brando. They're definitely showing that they can be up there. But yeah, it's been a long week. You know, putting in the hard yards, and it's definitely paying off in the long run. I was obviously with Woodsy too. Lunacy, Speedy, Muffin, all those guys, they definitely put in the hard yards, and it's certainly paying off. But Muffin's got some damage here, so that's not ideal, and he's actually dropped a position to Ratty. So that's, you know, that's some big moves there for captain. You know, does he use this as a planned pit stop to do, say, a 2-stop strategy, or what goes on here? You know, it's definitely something to think about. That wind's actually starting to change direction now too, so it's starting to go to a slight angle, so that may come into play here for these guys. Woodsy just punches out another fastest lap too with the 53.7, so he's definitely responding to the overall pace. We have had some controversy with some drivers during the week, you know, saying obviously with the latest update, they feel like it might have just kind of really hurt their car. You know, it's maybe like hurting them essentially, but I guess that's where the whole tuning around and stuff comes in. But Muffin gets a 3-second penalty for crossing a pit line, so that's obviously not ideal. But wonder if we can see him bring that time back and proceed up the field. But obviously we'll keep an eye on that, but none of these drivers down the back have got damage or anything like that, so they're just rotating around at the moment with what would be 20... Man, I can't mess. It's been too long of a day. So Woodsy's definitely punching out some record laps here at the moment. He's gapped Matt, so he's found something. He's found some pace in that car. Certainly that, you know, maybe myself or Matt was kind of missing. So yeah, definitely hats off to Woodsy there. He's showing that he can take it to Matt, and it's not just going to be a bit of a mint domination or an ETH Racing domination. So we'll wait and see how that pans out. But Ratty as well, big mover in the field because he did start a little bit in the mid pack and he's moved up to the front. Strange one. So should start to see some drivers coming in shortly with some. As I say that, already that's probably what the yellow flag was. He's got front and rear aero damage, so he must have hit the wall somewhere. Yeah, but he's got Sir Slayer trying to hunt him down too, so he's about 2 seconds off the back of Speedy there. But I don't know if that gap is really kind of closing there, but. Muffin's picked up some more damage here, so I think these drivers, I don't know, you know, the fatigue coming in, but also the wind. I think the wind's starting to change direction, starting to get a bit faster and slower. It definitely plays havoc in your stint, so you kind of really got to be keeping an eye on that wind pretty much every lap, every couple of corners, and see where it changes, because it essentially changes the whole dynamic of the car and how it handles. So you can't be sending it into one corner as much as what you would if into another corner. You know, the change of wind, it definitely something you don't really want. But yeah, I wouldn't be happy if I was Muffin there, considering he was fighting for second position with Matt. Woodsy! Yeah, looks to be possibly a planned pit stop. That was really sketchy there for Woodsy. He nearly got damaged. He ran really wide, going there through turn 4. So he scraped the wall. Luckily, obviously for himself, and he's hit the sand there. So that's not ideal for him at all. Losing time to Matt, obviously, but Matt should be coming in very shortly for a planned stop, for some tyres and some fuel. So we'll definitely wait and see on how that pans out. Throw some pasta up to us. Meat and cheese, mate. Come on. Send it up to us. I'm getting a bit hungry now up here in the com box. Might need to get some snacks, but Woodsy's had that gap close to Matt there, so he's definitely lost a bit of time through that section of the track. Yeah, he can make up that time in that outlap, with the fresh rubber, but car is also heavier. I know myself, I lost a considerable amount of time in my first stint that I did because I was carrying what would be roughly on about 100 kilos of fuel, so the car was actually a lot more stable. Lyrox with engine damage. Again, that's another engine for the RSR. So this is going to play out into the hands of Matt, I think, because he's essentially planned it, nearly to perfection. Hopefully he can send it on this lap here, because Woodsy is essential leader, and then the safety car will be coming out after the leaders have gone already. So yeah, that's definitely massive on there. Yeah, he's 1 second off though. Yeah, well, we put SC in the chat, and that just means drivers can't pass, so until they catch the safety car anyway. So essentially, the safety car is sitting here. He's just waiting for the leaders to come around. So you can just keep going flat out as hard as you can until you do catch the train. So it's going to be a pretty crucial one here for Matt and Woods on who's going to come out where, and it also plays out with how much fuel Woodsy's going to put in. You know, did Matt get the call of ED before he came in? You know, to short fuel. I'm not overly sure, but you know, it's definitely going to play out here. So we'll just keep an eye on that where they are, because Matt's coming around the last corner off the straight. So that's a little bit wide. So hopefully he can make a bit of time up through this last section. But Ratty as well has got a bit of damage here. So I wonder if he's going to pit. But if he does, I think he's going to drop down to roughly about 6th or 7th. And John's actually gone a lap down. Yeah, so that fuel difference there. So they've actually got the same amount of fuel, but because Matt did it under normal green conditions, he actually had to put more fuel in. Where Woodsy's done it under safety car, so he's was able to you know, fuel less. But you know, they're on. No, like, because Matt's done it under green, he's used a lap of fuel, so he's had to put more in and he stopped. Because I think the safety car came out when he was actually in the pits. Or it got called anyway. But they're on the same amount of fuel at the moment. So. Raddy's only dropped back to 4th. So he's actually only lost 1 position there. As it just starts to get a bit dark here. So they're all got their headlights on. Durock's on the lead lap. That's fine for Highlander. Yeah, we got Slappers in saying RSR, we only have 1 engine remaining in the stockpile for the weekend's allocation. Oh, hopefully you don't have to use that engine. Oh, meat and cheese getting real handy. Coming in there on the run to the bridge.
a lap down now?
No, he's on the lead. Oh no, he's a lap down.
Okay.
Soul Reaper, John, and Lurox are currently a lap down.
So if we get him a wave around...
Are we getting... Yeah, sorry guys, I fixed the stream. I had it on the wrong setting. So yes, he's on comms. I had it on the wrong setting.
I wasted all that energy for nothing.
My apologies, mate. It's what happens when you get two people streaming off two different devices. Got to fix settings around.
All good.
It's starting to get really dark now in the game.
Yeah, it will reach a point that it doesn't get any darker.
So Nightwalker's currently on the lead lap, so we'll get Nightwalker to the back. Okay, they've crossed the line, so everyone is on the lead lap except for Lurox. Highlander. I think that nearly puts Nightwalker back on the lead lap.
It's 2 laps down at the moment.
Yeah, so then... Oh, is that including this one that we've just had now for the safety car?
Yes, including this one.
Okay. So you can see that wind direction has actually changed again. It's actually moved slightly around and it's actually gotten a little bit stronger, so that may play a part come the end of it.
Yeah, a bit of a crosswind heading across the track down the main straight. Oh, sorry, back straight. And it's definitely a crosswind on the main straight. It's almost directly going across the track.
But that will definitely play a part coming onto the bridge, because they will have a tailwind through that section, which is not what you want, because you're already carrying, so much speed through there. You don't want to be carrying any more speed than what you have to. So that's definitely something that they want to really kind of watch out for. Hopefully the safety car should be coming in at next lap, so then we should get this back onto green racing. So Meat's done 4 laps so far with the safety car for this one. Xerox jumps into the pits, looks like he's maybe, I don't know, fixed damage possibly. I'm not overly sure what's happened there.
Yeah, that's a strange one indeed.
But also it means, a lot of different fuel levels in the cars is very interesting to see. Matt and Woodsy are running same fuel level, and then you've got Spud with a little bit less, Ratty with a little bit less, roughly about the same. So you've got essentially position 1 and 2 on the same fuel, and then 3 and 4 on the same fuel, and then 5 and 6 on the same fuel as each other. So they're all, running roughly about the same as the car in front of them. So it's got, a little bit darker now too. So this may, oh, that's a disconnect there for the car 55 if Sir Slayer. So that's not probably ideal of what they weren't, as they were, fighting for a top 10 in this one.
Yeah, so that's actually a red flag. So in that situation, everyone's going to have to go around, complete the lap, park between turns 2 and 3. And we'll get their race positions and try and do a reset here.
That will then, turn this into what would be a 17 lap sprint race. So we'll need to reset the lobby after this again, and turn it from what would be a 38 into a 17, because then that now plays out as well.
Actually, it'll be more like 20 laps.
20 it will be 20. My bad, I can't count.
Sorry, 21. Maybe let them know that they can't leave the lobby. Or do not exit.
Okay, we shall be back very shortly. Alright, now we're back underway again. Hopefully, fingers crossed for the final time. Here at the St Croix 1500. It will be a safety car start. Unfortunately, we had Sir Slayer disconnect, so we had to do a bit of a room reset and stuff like that. So, Meat and Cheese will take control of the field, and we'll have Woodsy then in front of Matt for this final part. So we'll be 21 laps. So we wonder if we'll see any pit stops in this stint. It's going to be very interesting. Not too sure if Jarman's here, if he's getting some food, but yeah. So it's going to be a very interesting end to the stint. We're all getting everyone formed up in formation. Woodsy's paying 220 to Matt's 110 favorite. Honestly, slaps, I think it's going to be roughly like $1.10 to $1.20. To be honest, these guys have been matching each other all day, you know, all week, stuff like that. So another thing you kind of got to take into account is, you know, the glare that you get from Woodsy's car because of the chrome. It's definitely not ideal. They're all just taking formation now. We'll have a 21 lap sprint essentially to the end. It'll still be roughly about another hour. So it's just gone 6 o'clock local time. So these guys are starting at 9. We're currently at hour number 9 at the moment. So Nightwalker, Sir Slayer are both 1 lap down. And the Highlanders at the back in the 13. All of his laps down because unfortunately they missed the first stint. But due to the disconnect, we had Sir Slayer go 1 lap down.
So essentially the 964 and the 55 are both fighting it out for 12th position at the moment. Unless there's another safety car and then they get back on the lead lap and they can fight with everyone else too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's obviously the chance there, but at the moment, you know, we got to keep all eyes on these two here. You know, Matt and Woods. That's definitely going to be the fight at the moment because we've seen what pace they are. But another thing as well, with the new lobby opening, wind direction's done a completely different change.
Yep, the weather's changed around all over again during the red flag. And it miraculously got brighter as well.
Yeah, it's gone, you know, overnight. And we're essentially going on for another sunset. Safety car starts to pull away and we are about to go green for what would be 21 laps to the end of this, and we'll obviously wait and see on how this is going to play out between the two.
Essentially 20 laps to go here as we take the restart. So we've got a CP Motorsports Honda, an It's Racing Honda, 2 MSR Lexus, Satellite Nissan. I think that's another CP Honda and another Satellite Nissan. Safety cars back in. This would bring them down at a real slow pace. Gets on them quite a bit earlier. Was that Ratty McForehead in the pits?
Yeah, it looks like he's picked up a bit of damage there at the start, so that's not ideal for him.
Alright, let's jump back into the action, I think. close one here. Matt coming under all sorts of pressure here from N-Spud. Just like it was at the High Speed Ring 500. This time it's for P2 instead of P1, and Diswood is cleared out again. And Spud dives down the inside, a bit of contact there between the two.
It's damage there too for the 95 there for Matt. So Spud made a really late dive there, and he's actually shunted Matt, and he's ran wide and into the wall. So that's not what Matt wants at all coming into the later stages of this race. So I think he's just going to have to put in some hard yards and see what he can do. But at the moment, that's not ideal at all for Matt there. But yeah, that's what happens. But you can't really do much and can't escape that. But that's obviously what Woodsy really would have wanted in that kerfuffle there.
Yeah, plays in nicely to the hands of Diswood and N-Spud, who takes on second place. And of course Speedy Tyres, who has found himself back up in third place here in this one. So we look a bit further back, looks like John's making a move up the inside for 7th place. So 6th place, so he's got the job done on Route 1. And it looks like in that little bit where Matt's faltered a bit, John's come up to the fore and may look at taking over the top 5 position from Matt, although he's coming under a lot of pressure from Route 1 in the draft. And Matt's obviously seen John coming, just sort of let him have that spot as much as possible. Oh, and Matt's off into the wall. Really, for all of that, he didn't really get much damage, so that was a very strange one there.
I think that's that damage that come into tuition there, so that's not really what Matt would have wanted at all there. I do know that he wasn't happy with that bit of damage that he did get, but that's racing, and that's kind of really what you get. So he'll jump into the pits here, repair the damage, might chuck some fuel in and see if he can get to the end, but yeah, it's obviously not ideal what he wants, and I know himself will probably be wanting to pray for a safety car as Nightwalker, Muffin, and a couple of other drivers get damaged there.
So yeah, it looks like this has moved John up into 4th place, so maybe it'll be the other Vitz Racing Esports car that comes through for the win. I guess one team owner can only hope, but certainly a lot of cars that he'd need to pass before that happens. Is Diswood starting to run away with it here?
He's got a penalty.
Although he got a penalty on himself, so that's certainly not helping him out. But he's got plenty of a gap over N-Spud, so he'll probably be able to safely serve that and carry on his way. Bit of a moment there, Speedy Tyres looking all over the back of N-Spud to try and find a way past. Really be hoping for a good run out of this sweeping right-hander. Looks like he had a little bit of a wobble there mid-corner that's just given Spud enough of a gap to get ahead. What's going on with John back there? Doesn't look like he's got damage, but he certainly bounced into the wall there for a moment.
Yeah, we actually had to do a bit of a driver change here in the 22. Lurox's internet decided to cark itself. It felt, it's been too long of a day. I'm not doing this anymore, so we've had to chuck rusty nuts in the car. But yeah, he's doing a nice job here up in 7th. So as we said earlier, he's a lap down currently. I think no, he's not. He's back on the lead lap. Never mind.
Yeah, so the number 22 is very much on the lead lap.
Yeah, so the 22 is on the lead lap.
9, 6, 4 and 55 are a lap down, and the 13 is 22 laps down.
Yep. So Matt's down here in 14th place, just having that bit of a recovery drive and that bit of a mistake that he had there from that damage that he got in that bit of a move there from Spud. Linus looked a bit ambitious, but I guess that's racing, as you say, and we'll wait and see what happens there. But he's giving Grid One a bit of pressure, but we know what speed Matt's got, so I wouldn't put it past him to catch Nightwalker and Highlander and even Ratty. But in saying that, Spud's got damage here, so maybe he might be fixing the damage, topped up a bit of fuel, and off he goes. But it's never over till it's over. There's still what would be 17 laps to go, so we've still got a long way to go, and there's obviously the potential for another safety car as Highlander picks up some damage.
Yeah, so not looking good for Highlander. He's struggling there a little bit. But with all this damage and cars dropping out going on, look who's up into position 3 now.
He's got a penalty here. Soul Reaper's got a penalty, but yeah, Jordan's jumped up into 3rd, so obviously with Spud getting that damage, it's put John up here on a podium, for a podium, so I'm sure that's where he'd happy to be after his start to the race here, so that's definitely probably what he wants there, coming to the later stages of this race.
So yeah, third for John at the moment, 4th for Loudy Darkness, Slayer in 5th. Although they're a lap down, so even for all that though, so Slayer is putting in a very strong effort. It's been unfortunate that he's had this disconnection that's put him a lap down, but I mean, he's only really got 4 cars in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. He's got 4 cars in front of him. Obviously, if he can catch him, but if not, if there is another safety car, we'll drop him to the back of the train, and then he will be on the lead lap, same as Nightwalker in the 964. So yeah, it's not too bad of a job there. But saying that, Matt's just passed Rid One, and now he's on the charge here to Nightwalker and possibly Ratty, and we'll keep an eye on that and wait and see what he can do for his bit of a recovery drive. The Soul Reaper gets another half-second penalty, and he will serve this one down the straight, so he won't lose a position to that. But it may also come into play with pit strategies and stuff like that, because these guys won't be able to make the end on this tank, I don't believe.
No, I think it's about 12-13 laps for a tank, so I don't see anyone getting to the end of the race unless they do some extreme fuel saving, and even then it's probably not really worth doing either. As Diswood certainly cruising a bit out in front. Is that about a 5-second margin over Speedy tyres?
Yeah, 5.2
Yep.
over Speedy, and then 2.3 from Speedy to John.
So Diswood definitely in control of this one at this point of the race. Speedy tyres, the 41s had a bit of an up and down day, but still managed to find themselves in 2nd spot at this point. And that'll be a strong effort for Speedy and Diswood, are both defending champions of the 1500, so it'd be kind of ironic that they split up and finish 1-2 in this race. And then of course John 27 had a bit of an up and down day as well. He's probably had a bit of an up and down stint and somehow finds himself in 3rd place. Probably a lot of luck thanks to that red flag and the safety car period.
Yeah.
And the resulting chaos that's unfolded since.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice drive there from John, putting the number 34 in position 3. I know he'd definitely be wanting that, and Brando will be cheering him on, and as well as myself, Brian, yourself, and all the other boys over at It's Racing. So solid job there. If we can't have say one car on there, it'd be good to have one of the cars. Ideally we'd like to have two, but we can settle for one.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta roll with what you've dealt. Of course, there's still a long way to go here. Essentially 17 laps left in the race. As we have a look at Captain Muffin hunting down the 6th place driver, Rusty Nut 75. It's come in as a last minute replacement, sort of done a bit of a Luke Yordan when David Reynolds had to vacate the car in, I think it was 2018 at Bathurst. And sort of seen an issue here with Lurox, and Rusty Nuts has had to scramble to jump back in the car. As that was a very close race in there between Rusty Nuts and Captain Muffin. Rusty Nuts very certain there that he's not going to give up that spot very easily. And that's John heading to pit lane, so what's going on here?
He's got some front aero damage and front right suspension, so that promotes Loudy up into 3rd place.
So a very chaotic finish to this race. Certainly the St Croix 1500 has delivered again with its chaotic finishes. I remember last year where we had the likes of Mint Matt and Viper Z leading the race and having their own crashes and then fighting their way back into the top 3 by the end. Looks like we're set for another one of those finishes where we'll never really know what the final finishing order will be until basically they cross the line.
Yeah, and it's always, a pretty hyped up finish, when it's like that, when you kind of don't really know where anyone's going to finish until they do cross the line. So it'll be an interesting one to watch for the end of this one. Soul Reaper's made a bit of a mistake there. Matt as well has done a 3 minute, so he must have run off a little bit somewhere. Somewhere there, so he's...
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, lost a bit of time, but it's alright. Everyone's had a very long day, so hopefully he can have a bit of a settle down and see where he can finish. Already getting a bit sideways there. He's trying to hunt down John for that 8th place. Everyone's just starting to slightly spread out here, so...
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that a lot. Everyone seems to spread out a fair bit as we get into the racing.
Oh, Spud's had a massive moment there. Coming onto the back straight.
And there goes John back up in the 7th. Brady goes past, he's taken over 8th spot. Soul Reaper will probably be looking to take 9th, which effectively is 8th, I should point out. Because of course we've got Sir Slayer that's a lap down.
Matt's picked up some damage here. Same as Woodsy, same as Spud, sorry. So they both got some front damage.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Matt's got that damage. Maybe that was part of the 3-minute lap that you were talking about.
No, he picked it up on that lap because he got a 3-minute lap and then he was going around and then he must have run wide, possibly onto the back straight because, as I said, that wind direction's changed again. So that's actually given him nearly a cross tailwind down the back straight, which really causes havoc on the run into the onto the back straight. But you know, they'll go in there, they'll repair some damage, and then maybe chuck some tyres and fuel in, and then have a bit of a run to the end. So Ridwan's got
Yeah.
damage as well.
So in comes Matt, in comes Spud. Ridwan's going to keep pushing on though. And Matt's actually quite close to Spud after coming out of the pits. Had Matt previously fueled to the end with intention of going all the way, and maybe Bud decided to do likewise in that stop and lost a bit of time as a result.
Oh, Woodsy's got some damage here, so he's got some front aero damage. That's massive there. He's losing some chronic amount of time there to Speedy.
Oh, that's huge. So Woods with some damage. Speedy Tyres closing the gap in, so very possible that Speedy Tyres could take the lead of this race here. And the number 41 Satellite Racing Nissan. And as we've said, this race just proves very chaotic towards the end. See a lot of mistakes creeping in from drivers.
Ridwan still carrying his damage. Matt's hunting down Spud for that P11 there. And if that's the case, then he'll try and hunt down Ridwan for that P10. I think they're all getting it at the same point. He's on the run onto the back straight, but Woods has actually stayed out here. So I wonder if he's going to try and...
Very interesting from Woods.
I wonder if
Maybe
he's going to stay out and make it into his pit, where his planned kind of pit window is.
Yeah, that would be probably the wise call, is to make it part of your pit stop. Maybe suffer a bit of pain and just press on with it until a later point. But crucially, you'll want to try and make sure that he stays ahead of Speedy Tyres while doing that.
Yeah, he's actually keeping time, if not making time on Speedy. So I think realistically, Woodsy's only really gonna kind of lose time to Speedy on the straights, is where the aero kind of comes into play. So that's going to be pretty massive there. But hopefully it doesn't kind of hinder him, because we've seen people that do have aero damage. They essentially nearly put it in the wall, what would be nearly every time. So hopefully he takes it a bit easy here and he can get it back around to the pits, but at the same time trying to keep Speedy at bay. But so that's the thing. I don't know if Speedy knows that he's got damage, but I'm assuming that he would do, granted on how much he's actually closing that gap into Woodsy.
Does Speedy have damage of his own, or is he?
No, he's just yeah, he's clear. So him,
Okay.
Loudy and Slayer essentially Muffin. So when Woodsy comes into the pits, you essentially see Muffin jump up into third. So.
Of course, that's dependent on how he works his pit stop into the race. At this stage, you could probably get it, if you're keeping pace, you could probably push it off and maybe split the race in two. And make sure that it's your one and only pit stop of this closing stage of a race.
Yeah, as I was saying there, so Woodsy had 2 seconds to Speedy, and then he's pulled half a second to him in this later sequence. So I think Woodsy's got that car set up pretty well. in cooperation with, you know, the track at the moment and how it's going. So wind as well. We've got a tailwind down the back straight, which may come into play with braking zones and stuff like that. It'll definitely make it a lot worse for havoc and stuff like that. But Woodsy's tyres are worn actually a little bit less than what Speedy's are.
So everything working out well there for Woodsy in the battle with Speedy Tyres. Captain Muffin. This really isn't for position though. So Slayer is a lap down. So I don't know if he really should be fighting too much for the position here. Hopefully Slayer does realise he's actually a lap down and sort of doesn't make it too hard. I think he's given a wide berth there. Maybe he's listening to us on the stream.
Matt's lost position back to Spud, so I think Matt's made a bit of a mistake.
I think Matt was always behind Spud.
No, he passed him. He was up into 10th, I think.
Oh, okay. No, I'm pretty sure he wasn't.
Yeah, he's on for a 57 or 58. Oh, Spud! Jeez, mate. Yeah, so Matt was on for a 59, so 58 there, so he's made a bit of a mistake there and he did lose time.
I thought he was...
No, he did pass him, so... What's his gap height?
Definitely did now, I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah. Should hopefully see the time here between Speedy and Woodsy come down pretty chronically.
Yeah, it's down to 1.5 by the looks of things. So Speedy really closing in that gap to Diswood, who's running with damage. Although he's persisting on with it. Trying to make sure that he turns this into a pit stop, I believe. This could be a crucial moment in this race between Diswood and Speedy. Speedy can get himself ahead, grab some track position, that'll bode well. Drove Diswood now into the pits. So I think he's starting to feel the pressure from Speedy. Knew he couldn't really give up that track position too easily. So he's diving into pit lane. Get himself a fresh set of tyres, repair that damage, fuel up to the end. So that'll bring him out in 5th place at the moment. Although essentially it's 4th with Sir Slayer still a lap down. And so John 27 now inside the top 5. And then Ruddy McForehead running 6th. So we're down to 11 to go. And it'll be, I believe it'll be lap 17 is the cutoff for the safety car.
Yeah, end of 16, start of 17.
So it's actually 12 to go, sorry.
Yeah, end of 16, start of 17 is safety car cutoff. But
Yep.
anyone here from position 5 down is actually 1 ahead of where they are due to Sir Slayer being in the mix. So he's actually a lap down. And we'll get that lap back if there is another safety car, but obviously that's if another safety car arises, but if not, he will finish a lap down, unfortunately. So yeah, all the other cars here are for positions, so we'll definitely wait and see what happens here. But so essentially you've got Woodsy in 4th, John 5, Ratty 6, Rusty 7, Soul Reaper 8, Matt 9, Spud 10, Ridwan 11,
Yep, that's right.
Sir Slayer 12, Nightwalker 13, Highlander 14.
Yep, that's correct. Even with the way we run things, they still jumbled the order up.
Mm.
But at least it beats the free run mode where everything was jumbled up.
Yeah, that was that. That I think that this year would have been definitely an interesting one. Speedy's just jumped into the pits now, so this will be a planned pit stop, roughly about halfway ish. So he'll fuel up to the end and hopefully try and make it to the end on those tyres. I wonder if Loudy's going to respond with this or if he's going to try and run a little bit longer. So he's jumped in as well. Muffin goes through. So then Muffin takes the essential lead of the race here. In the number 50, which is ideally, I don't know if he's going to make it to the end on that, because that'll be
Yeah,
20.
Doesn't look like he'll make it. Uh-oh.
PlayStation Network cannot be reached.
Has that crashed the room?
Potentially. Yeah,
Oh dear.
everyone's games crashed. Well, we shall be back. Just be with us for a moment. Now, room crashed by itself. It was very odd. We don't know exactly what happened. We have no answers, but we're going to have an 11 lap sprint to the end. We have a finishing order of one, essentially just before the room crashed. So they're all working that out at the moment. As the safety car comes through the field, he'll lead, and Captain Muffin has essentially taken what would be the lead of the race due to the disconnect.
Yeah, so from the images we had 2 minutes before everything went down, it should be Captain Muffin in the lead, with Speedy Tyres in second in the number 41, then Loudy Darkness in the 156, then we'll have Diswood in fourth, John in fifth place, and then Brady McForhead in sixth. It'll be Rusty Nuts 75 sitting in seventh place in the 22. Then I believe it's Soul Reaper in the 151, then Mint Matt and Spud, Ridwan F1 in 11th place, and then back on the lead lap is Sir Slayer 1991 in the 55, as well as Nightwalker 964. So we'll have 13 out of 14 cars back on the lead lap, and the number 13 sitting 21 laps down. And it'll actually be a 10 lap sprint once we get the safety car back in.
This is going to be very interesting.
Red one's holding up to let them through. Yeah, the order's all jumbled up, so this could make for some exciting final 10 laps of racing. I would have said about 15 minutes ago that this would be the favourite to win. Now I feel like maybe it's Speedy Tyres' race to lose here. But even then, he's still got to get ahead of Captain Muffin.
Yeah, I think, honestly, the real winner out of this is Captain Muffin. That's essentially, you know, Speedy and Loudy were both in the pits, and then Woodsy was about to come through, but essentially we have to take the grid order that we had from when the room disconnected, which obviously unfortunate for Woodsy because he was essential leader, but you know, we got to keep it going, and we'll have people out there as the grid order did. So we got the screenshots for it, so we're not making any of this up, so we all know what was going on. So yeah, you know, Captain Muffin played his strategy to perfection, you could say, but you know, it's never really over until the checkered flag drops, which is essentially what's happened all day today.
Yes, got 10 laps to go here. Really could be anyone's race, as we've seen all day. Who knows what can happen on this final restart? We saw absolute chaos in the last one. Maybe we might see something similar again.
Fields in control here by Captain Muffin in the number 50 CP Motorsports car. Loudy jumping out of formation a little tiny bit there, but we've got some hard charges ready to come through the field here. I'd definitely be worried if I was him. Hopefully no one jumps too early, no one crosses before the line. Safety car's in, and we've gone green flag for what would be stint number essentially 8, if not 9. So
Diswood on the charge already. They're all fanning out, looking for position. Diswood's going to try a dive here in the turn 2, and he may get the job done. Yes, he does. He's got it done. He's up in the 3rd place. So that was a crucial move there from Diswood. Up into the podium spots, and now he'll set his sights on Speedy Tyres. Looks like Speedy's closed in a bit on Captain Muffin as Loudy Darkness comes back at Diswood here. It's a bit of a battle here. Mint Matt sitting in 8th place. Just behind Rusty Nut 75, and Mint's gone around.
No damage, thankfully.
No damage, but that has proven extremely costly here as he's dropped down the order. So it's Captain Muffin leading away from Speedy Tyres and Diswood 1. With Loudy Darkness just sitting behind in 4th place. And then we have Ratty McForehead in 5th. And then I believe that's John 27 sitting in 6th. And Spud in 7th. Rusty Nut 75 in 8th. And Ridwan in 9th. And Mint Matt in 10th. And then a lap, well no longer a lap down actually, is Nightwalker and Sir Slayer. Sir Slayer getting really wide there.
Picked up some damage to front.
Oh no.
Right.
So he was having a great run when he was lapped down, and now that he's back on the lead lap, it's all come unstuck for him and he's picked up damage. Matt back up into P8 here. He'll be looking to get a good run onto this straight and maybe have an attack at Ridwan. Looks like he's gotten himself a good run out of that final sweeper onto them. Well, not really final sweeper, but final sweeper before the back straight. He's definitely got the slipstream benefit. He gets himself down the inside. Can he hang on to this, or has he outbroke himself? It doesn't look like he has. He's pulled it up nicely. So Mint Matt now up into position number 8 here. And now his attention will most likely turn to N Spud P666 in 7th.
Yeah, and I know he's not happy with Spud at the moment. I know that's for sure. He definitely made that vocal to me then. So maybe he's got a bit of a hard charger above his head. So, but he has gained a bit of time there to Muffin. So it was about 7 seconds on the long sweeper onto the back straight. So they've gained about 3/10 in the last probably 2 sectors. So they're all going to be on the hard charge here. So we'll just wait and see what happens. So
Matt's got the bit between his teeth at the moment. He can smell blood here with N Spud.
Coming essentially to where it happened in the last stint. So
yes.
Wonder if he can get it. He's got a run on here on Spud, so we'll see if he can send it up the inside coming into turn 3. He's gone purple here, so he knows he's hungry. He goes on.
He's pulling out. I feel like he's going to send. No.
Oh, Ratty!
So Ratty's gone wide. He still comes out just ahead of this battle between Spud and Matt. They still hung on the position number 6. So 3 of 11, that's about 9 laps to go. Doing some very bad quick maths in my head. So Matt really on the recovery drive here. Feel like in the space of 9 laps, taking the win might be just out of reach, but then again that could mean he, well, I've underestimated him before and he's really surprised me, so anything is possible here.
Woodsy's got a really nice run here on Speedy, but he's not quite close enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, he looks like he's way too far back to do anything there. Rowdy Darkmist on the defensive against John. John got a great run down this straight here. try to go the long way around into this corner. He's all but got the move done, but he has run a bit wide there on the exit. Yeah, he still managed to hang on to position 4. The optics of that camera angle certainly were deceiving though. It did look like Loudy was coming back at him.
Muffin's gapped Speedy by 1.6 here, so I think Speedy's made a bit of a mistake coming towards the end there, as Woodsy's really closed that gap. I don't know if Speedy essentially kind of wants Woodsy in that kind of range, but Woodsy looks to possibly have dropped off a little bit of pace here, but Muffin comes in with a 53.6, so he's definitely responding, saying, you know, I can battle with these boys up the front with that 53.6. So.
That being said, I mean, Muffin was punching in some quick laps in that last stint, and he was really one of those guys that was keeping pace with Mint Matt and Dis Wood, so I mean, for him in the lead of the race, he's certainly more than capable of producing the performance he needs to win it. And wouldn't that be a big story as well, winning the Daytona 500 and the St Croix 1500 both in the same year? And not really being a full-time driver either.
Yeah, that would definitely be a big one there for CP and Jerem and Chase and Woods as well. You know, like I don't know if Woodsy's kind of jumped out of his rhythm, but yeah, he's not really kind of gaining as much time as what I thought he would have in this last stint, because I thought he would have been a bit more hungrier. But yeah, it's definitely spiced things up a bit here, and this dirty air and all these new VFE settings and stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see come lap 11.
Of note, John is now up into P4, so he'll be, at the moment he'll be the one, if he doesn't get damage, he'll be the one to pick up the pieces if someone in the top 3 gets damage. Oh, that was a wide exit there from Menspud, and he's probably gained 5/10 out of that. Isn't that the way it's been working for him out of that corner this race?
Apparently. He gets real squirrely out of there, but he's got Matt hounding the back of him. Pretty sure, you know, Matt doesn't want to really be there. Oh, that was so close to hitting the wall. That had me on the edge of my seat, but Matt looks to have the run here on Spud now, so I wonder how this plays out. But those MSR cars, they're absolutely bullets in a straight line. That's incredible.
It's like he's gaining on him, really having enough for a late send down the inside. And Spud's late braking. Has he outbroke himself there a bit, I think? Matt sort of knocking on the back of his rear bumper there a little bit through the corners. I think he might just be letting him know that he's well and truly there. Captain Muffin crossing the line. Starts lap 5 of 11. Although it's really 7 laps to go, so trying to work that out, I believe that's lap 133 of 139.
Yeah, I'm not the best at maths, as everyone knows. But yeah, no, they're not doing a too bad job. But yeah, we got Papa in the chat with the wind direction, track conditions, time of day. Definitely, you know, the track would have lost all its temperature. So you know, it's definitely dropping. You know, it's not probably ideal that, you know, this time of day is where it's at, because the cars don't look to be as fast as what they were. But you know, over the course of the day, you know, the track temperature's gone up, gone down, and it's something's happened here. The man, he's dropped off a little bit, so he might have run a bit deep into the corner there after the straight. But you know, we'll just wait and see what Matt has. But hopefully he doesn't come under attack here from grid one. You know, Ruddy has yellow flag here. Speedy tyres. This is huge. That's
Speedy
massive.
tyres is fun. Is that damage on his car as well?
Yeah, front splitter damage. That's massive.
Front
there.
splitter damage. So And realistically, even though Matt's dropped off the back of Spud, he's still picked up position 7 out of all of that.
Yeah,
Although it wasn't the car he wanted to pass, was it?
yeah, he's hunting. He's gained a bit of time there to Spud. He was at 2.5. He's now at 1.1. 1.5. Sorry. So he's at 1.1 behind Ratty. So yeah, Loudy's got a 3-second penalty here. So he's done something. I don't know what he's done to get that 3-second. That's massive. That's essentially a massive corner cut. I don't know where you'd pick up a 3-second penalty, but that'll drop Loudy. That'll drop Loudy all the way back to probably 8th, if not 9th.
Has that given him a passing under yellow penalty?
Or possibly, actually, thinking about it, yes. That's more or less what...
And the car that he passed under yellow was the one that caused the yellow.
And he's probably about to get passed by the car that caused the yellow. Actually, I don't... Even if the car spins, I think even if he passed him, I don't think it classes. So it's possible that he passed Ratty under yellow, which may explain the reason why.
I think he was already ahead of Ratty.
I'm not overly sure. That might be a question that we ask Loudy, but yeah, he's
that might be one to review after the race. So Matt's up to 6th place with that.
Yeah, Spud's up.
So that is essentially under review. I think as a stewarding team, we'll definitely look at that one to make sure that everything's all clear of that one, because we'd hate for Loudy to be unfairly disadvantaged by a flaw in the game.
Captain Muffin's doing a solid job here, out in first with what will be 6 laps to go, 5 laps at the end of this. So at the end of this lap, as long as no one causes engine damage, safety car will be out of play here, and then it will just be essentially a send to the end. So yeah,
there'll be one more lap before that happens. So it'll be lap 7 that there'll be no more safety cars. And as you can see, John picking up the pieces, as I said, from anyone that made a mistake. And now, importantly, he's going to have to make sure that he doesn't make a mistake to hold on to that 3rd place. So I think probably the one that I really want to follow along with would be the Mint, Matt and Spud battle. So that's probably that's what's closest on the track at the moment. Although I don't think really Spud, Mint is close enough to really do anything. He's a bit too far back on the exit there, I reckon.
Yeah, as I said, those MSR cars are definitely tuned up in the straight line. Spud nearly outbrakes himself there. So yeah, they've got some pretty critical straight line speed, which is obviously what you want in regards to it, like letting cars past and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a pretty massive factor in the long run.
Loudy back down in 7th place here. And then we've got Speedy Tyres and Ridwan in 8th and 9th.
Speedy Tyre is still carrying that damage as well of the front splitter. It's nearly about to go 7
well,
PM.
We have crossed into 7 laps complete, so now from this point no more safety cars. And Mint Matt right on the bumper of Spud. Let's see what happens down into turn 3 here. He makes the move down the inside. Late lunge, runs it wide. I think Spud's going to get back underneath him, so Spud opened it up a bit. Got himself back into 5th place. And that'll very much frustrate Mint Matt there.
Speedy's doing well here to keep P8 with that splitter damage. But the cars are starting to spread out considerable amount now. Who's the way at the back? Highlander. Soul Reaper still with that damage. Show Slayer, Rusty, Nightwalker, Ridward.
I wonder if Ridwan's just sort of holding back a bit, knowing that having missed a round, he's a bit out of contention compared to Speedy tyres.
Speedy's also missed around.
But I think Ridwan's missed more than one actually. I think it's about 2 or 3, so maybe he's realised he's a bit out of contention. And Matt got past, so Matt's in 5th place, but I don't know how long that's going to last for. Because as we've seen, there's a lot of straight line speed in that MSR Lexus. And Matt instantly goes on the defensive. Makes life hard for N-Spud. Certainly not doing him any favours there. Let's see what happens on the exit.
Matt gets really
He
squirrely there.
did not. He got squirrely and he definitely didn't leave Spud much room to play with. So Mid-Matt back up to 5th place here. As he makes a bit of a comeback drive towards the end of this race, so heading around into 4 laps to go as Captain Muffin has crossed the line. Start lap number 8. Eventually I'll start labelling these by the proper lap numbers for the entire race.
So 2.2 out in front, but they're currently kind of essentially nearly matching each other for pace. I think Woodsy's a little bit faster of an overall space, but Matt's gapped Spud here, so that was really hurting Matt as he's on a purple first sector. So that's probably what he wants to see, is that sector time come up, because then he'll be on the charge to Ratty and see if we can get these 2 cars in P4, P3 and 4. So we'll just wait and see what that gap equates down to at the end of the race. But yeah, at the moment Woodsy's definitely on the charge here for Muffin. You know, would any team orders be at play here, or you know, after the effort that the number 50's put in, I personally would think go for a photo finish, but yeah, don't let the number 1 through. So.
Yeah, it would be an interesting one. I did think about whether team orders might come into play between the 50 and the 1, but I feel like a big race like this, you just sort of have to let them race for the win, and whoever's in front at the end gets the victory.
Yeah, he's got that down to 2.5, so he's on the charge now to Ratty. He's hunting that, he's hungry. I know he wouldn't be happy being stuck behind Spud for so long. I think maybe would that maybe be in Spud's mind, hold up Matt as much as we can to try and keep him at bay. But that's probably not something that Matt would have liked. But the tyres are starting to wear, fuels are starting to get lighter, cars are starting to get lighter, and wind essentially is getting changed direction again. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one. But Woodsy's lost a little bit of time here to Muffin. He's gapped out to 2.1.
So yeah, Woods going purple there. Has that gap gone down under 2 seconds now?
Yeah, it's gone down to 1.9. So
Yep, that's what I thought I saw. So he's really starting to make another late push.
52.8, 52.8. What do we got here by John?
So Woods come in with a fastest lap. I think Muffin does have him a bit covered there. John certainly cruising around in third place. Well, it looks like he's coming under a bit of a threat here from Brady McForehead. And incidentally, Brady McForehead coming in under a bit of pressure from Mint Matt at the same time. Potentially they could all come together at the same point, realistically.
Yeah, we've got 3, so we've got roughly 30 Ks to go, so that's question on who's going to catch who, but that's, you know, the other thing is catching the car, but then passing the car, that's another story, so that's going to be one for the ages to wait and see, but, you know, everyone up the front is essentially lapping at roughly about the same amount of pace too, so you can't really kind of put a pin on it on who, you know, may come off with the win, because anything's possible. You know, we've seen Muffin hit the wall, we've seen Woods hit the wall, we've seen John, Ratty, Matt, Spud. Essentially, your top 6, top 7 have hit the wall at some point over today. You know, obviously myself, like, caked the wall, Spud's hit the wall, Matt's hit the wall.
I think everyone's come through this race with damage at some point.
You know, like, seeing the times here, you know, Spud's doing 55s, his best is a 55.1. Matt was doing 55s and he's gone past Spud, and then instantly the next first lap is a 53, so Matt was essentially losing between 2 to 2.5 seconds a lap sitting behind Spud, but the dirty air and aero package is just really going to hurt Matt in that aspect, but, you know, paid off for Spud, and essentially paid off for Woodsy and Muffin, so.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, you can't really complain too much. Everyone's underneath the same package to a degree with the aero and the dirty air, so it's really up to each driver to make the most of it, try and find their way around and with a much faster car, so you can't really sit back and complain too much and say, oh, I got stuck behind someone and I should have been here. At the end of the day, really, you've got to do all you can to get past and make that move happen. And if you can't do it, then the driver in front fully deserves their position.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, like we're all in the same boat, so we can't rule out, you know, this person's faster than this. And, you know, at the end of the day, it does come down to tuning as well, and, you know, driver capability and getting their head around the car. So, you know, we're all on the same boat. We all cop the same conditions, you know, same time of day, same wind and everything like that. So, yeah, it's just adapting to the situation essentially. So, but yeah, it's good to see how the driver's still committed through the series and how they're going so far, and all the teams still going. And Speedy's actually picked up some front right suspension damage here, so I think Ridwan might be just playing with him at the moment. Oh, Ridwan runs really wide there.
Yeah, it might be just a bit of a situation that maybe Ridwan's sort of content with sitting behind. If they're running 9th and 10th, maybe give the points to 9th for Speedy tyres. Help him out in the championship a slight bit more. So Mint Matt all over the back of Ratty McForehead here. Well, I won't say all over the back, but certainly closing in. Probably one of the closer battles at this stage.
These two up front have really gapped the field here. Matt coming in within 3/10 of Ratty, so I wonder if he's just waiting to get a bit of a run here on Ruddy down the back straight. But yeah, as we said, you know, those MSR cars have definitely got some sort of aero package that, you know, the other cars don't have, and they're just solid in a straight line. It's pretty incredible on how much speed they can get. And saying that, Matt's got a little bit of a run here. I don't know if he's going to be close enough, but go for. If it was me, I'd go full send into the corner down here and see how it goes if I was close enough. But Ratty just blocks it off a little bit. You know, he's not close enough. I wouldn't make that move. That's just or
sent it down the
go
outside.
around the outside.
That is very
Here's
ambitious.
And he's still
A
there.
bit of a wobble there. He's got the overlap. Don't think he has enough. He's going to have to back out of it through this corner here. And he's just run wide off the corner. Definitely not what he wanted. But Mint Matt giving it his all. He's not just content for a top 5. And he's in the wall there, so he's run off. He's pushed for P4. He's hit the fence, so it looks like he's got some damage there.
Yeah, some front aero. Oh, Spud.
So Spud's going to jump himself back in the top 5. Mint Matt, bit of damage there trying to take position 4, so unfortunately for him, a bit of risk and it's not paid off, and he's really dropped down the order as a result, and he's falling into the clutches of Loudy Darkness as well. As we enter the final lap of the race. So Captain Muffin does hold a lead. It's under a second though between him and Diswood. Maybe Diswood may make one final push here to try and take the win. As we head over the bridge for the final time. Will Diswood be close enough? Definitely like to head back and see that battle for the lead, see if it's gotten any closer.
Muffin makes an early defensive move there. Pulls onto that inside because he can see Woodsy in the slip, but they're about to come onto the back of Highlander here. So if I was Highlander, I'd essentially keep racing as best as I can.
Yeah, try and stay well out of the way.
Yeah, stay well out of this way.
Ruin this way. So down that bottom hairpin for the final time. Captain Muffin leading the way. I don't think Diswood's quite got enough, and as you can see by the defensive move there from Captain Muffin, he's definitely going to try and do everything to win the race. So Captain Muffin heading through turn 23 for the final time. Diswood certainly giving it his all. And Highlander just gets out of the way. I think he knows that he's got to get well out of the way of that one. But it's going to be Captain Muffin and Duram 50, who after 139 laps take victory here in the St Croix 1500. And it's Diswood and TH Lunacy who cross the line in second. And after an up and down day, it's not the It's Racing Esports car you'd expect to see on the podium. But still a mighty fine effort there regardless, and it's John 27 TCT and EBM Brandosa across the line in third place on the podium. Brady McForehead and Zola 96 in fourth, and Spud P 666 and Budsy 76 in fifth. Loudy Darkness and Slappers Mate in sixth place. Mint Matt and Disappointed across the line seventh, and then we'll have Speedy Ties and Captain Risky in eighth. It'll be Nightwalker 964 in ninth position, and then Ridwan and Viper's Head look like they're going to take 10th. As they head across the line, although it's a bit up for debate, no, they still hold on to 10th. Rusty Nuts and Lorix in 11th. And then Sir Slayer and Gabans should come around for 12th place, provided that there's no incidents in the last few corners. As I say that, he runs onto the grass. Should also mention that it was Aussie Hypnotic that was partnered with Nightwalker 964. It just escaped my memory for a second, so apologies to Aussie. Credit where credit's due though. I think he crossed the line in 9th, I believe, so good effort there from him. So there's Sir Slayer and Gabans in 12th place. Soul Reaper and Gordock in 13th. And then Highlander and Devlin crossing the line in 14th and final position. So there you have it. A CP Motorsports 1-2 in the St Croix 1500. And it's number 50 of Captain Muffin and Duran 50 who take the victory here, with Diswood and Lunacy following in behind in the number 1 car. And then of course it's an all Honda podium with that number 34 of John 27 and EBM Brandosa. So definitely a big thanks to everyone for sticking it out throughout this race. It's been a mammoth effort. Certainly appreciate everyone who participated. It's been a very long day. Everyone on stream that stuck with us all. And also all of the officials who were working really hard behind the scenes today. We appreciate everyone for all their efforts, whether it's just watching the stream or working behind the scenes or even just participating in the race. We had a few issues at the end, but thankfully everyone remained patient and dealt with it all.
Yeah, solid job there to the number 50 of Jerem and Captain Muffin there. That's you know, that's a CP Motorsports 1-2 and then an It's Racing P3. You know, we still got 1 car on the podium, which we're more than happy to see that there. You know, the It's CP boys were absolutely unstoppable all weekend, and massive ups to them, to the boys and how they've gone. So yeah, big congratulations to those guys, and obviously the MSR boys as well. You know, they were down but not out, and then come the end of it, you know, they're where it matters in P4 and P5. So big ups to everyone, and yeah, thank you to yourself too. You know, rolling around in the comm box and stuff like that. So you know, big efforts to everyone, and hopefully we'll ideally I'd like to have 2 weeks off, but we're going to have a week off.
Yeah, not much time before we head back into racing. It'll be just a short break, and we'll be running next week at Watkins Glen for the New York Sprint. So I'm not sure if we're ready to wrap things up now, or if we're going to keep carrying on for a little bit longer.
Not overly sure. I don't know where they are. I don't think Jesus. Discord. Better save that replay before I do anything. here we have it. One of the two winners of the St Croix 1500 for 2022, mate. You won the Blue Moon Bay 500, and you're now a 1500 winner. Big ups to you and Duran, mate. It's been a mammoth weekend for you guys, and good to see you guys up on the top step there.
Thanks, mate. We worked out hard in that car, but the guys at CP gave us a rocket ship of a team. Although I couldn't keep it clean the whole race, I managed to keep it clean enough to get the dub. So, cheers to the team, everyone for that.
Yeah, it was an outstanding job, and you kept Woodsy at bay there, mate, in that last stint you did. Solid, the pace that Woods has had over the last, 2-3 stints, he's done an outstanding job, and you yourself, you're punching in the same amount of lap times as what Woodsy is.
Oh, definitely. I know Woodsy had more pace on me every day of the week, and I know for a fact, but I just thought if I can hold him away long enough and use that a bit of dirty air, I know it sounds bad saying to your teammate, but use a bit of dirty air to try and keep him at bay, I should be able to keep him behind me and get the chocolates at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the CP team's been on our radar. We haven't made it easy for us. We know you guys were hunting us for this, and Woodsy himself didn't want us to get the three-peat, but you guys did it, and you thoroughly deserved it. And there'll be some trophies coming your way at the end of the season. So yeah, big ups to you guys there, and you, Chase, Woodsy, all the guys all in the background there and stuff like that.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you as well, all the race directors, commentators, and everyone behind the scenes putting together this massive, awesome event. This is honestly fantastic, probably one of the best events you can get in sim racing, in my opinion. So thank you.
No, it's good to see and see you enjoy it. So, you, everyone else, everyone that stuck around for the long, what would be 10 hours, 20 minutes. So all the in between and lobby disconnects and everything like that. So yeah, big ups to you guys, and happy double major winner this year, my friend, in your debut season.
No bad way to start the season if you ask me, mate. Let's try and go 3 for 4 next time round.
That's it. But you got anything else?
Nothing really that you haven't already covered. Just big congratulations. I mean, it's a long race, and it really takes it out of everyone throughout the whole day. So to get through it all and be at the front at the end, that's a massive props to yourself and Jaram for the effort you've put in. So big congratulations, and a very well-deserved victory from both of you.
Oh, thanks, mate. Definitely, it was it was a hard slog out there. I'm sure every person on that grid today can attest to that. But yeah, can't really just thank the team enough, and all the sponsors just for putting it all together. Like, it's honestly surreal. My legs are buckling. You got no idea.
Well, that would have been a mega stint there for you, Matt, Woodsy, essentially everyone that was in for stint 5. They did a double stint, so everyone was kind of in there. But you win some, you lose some. Matt lost it out. It is what it is. It just proves that he is human and he's not as such an alien. But yeah, definitely seeing some good battles all day, and it was great. The battles that me and you had, and the battles that everyone's had, it's definitely made for an interesting one.
100%, mate. Really, I was almost be doing 2 stints today, but yeah, just got to the end of stint 4 by talking to Dream just in between stints, and he said, hey mate, you got a pretty good pace. You want to take out the last stint while you're going? Well, since I asked, give it a crack. And I thought I butchered it at the start there, going into the wall on lap 1 of that first restart. But thankfully, I guess the racing gods are looking down on me today and got me back to the front by the end of it.
Yeah, and I was saying to Itz before that you played your strategy to absolute perfection in before the disconnect. None of us knew the disconnect was coming, but I think you must have had a little Tweety bird in your ear saying, "Stay out, stay out, stay out" for another lap.
Oh, really? The only reason why I stayed out is because I got damaged lap 1, went to the pits and peeled up a bit more, so I could go a bit further. That's the only reason why I was still out. If I didn't hit the wall, I would have been in the pits with everyone else. So.
Yeah, so essentially we just, we got the lobby at the disconnect, and you're out front, and that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess.
It certainly is. You win some, you lose some, and today CP got the dub. Let's friggin' go.
Anyway, well, yeah, big congratulations to you, Jerem, Woodsy, Lunacy as well. Solid job there. Everyone was on pace and everyone was keeping each other at bay, and it was great to watch. But until then, we thank everyone for jumping in, sticking around for this very long day, and we shall catch you next week from the American sprint race at Watkins Glen. But until then.